Congressman Scott Fitzgerald, a member of the House Financial Services and Judiciary Committees. Congressman, can you explain to us why there is such pushback against this bill?
No, I really can't. I know that, you featured kind of a couple of my colleagues, but
yeah.
I mean, I think the Democrats right now have a real hard time kind of describing what their position is on Israel, right? Maria, it's continued to get murky as we hear some of these members kind of dance around the idea that, well, maybe Israel should pull back. Maybe Israel shouldn't be as strong as they are in their response right now. We anticipated this. I mean, I had many people that I know back in my district of Jewish faith that have been saying, get ready for this, because at some point this whole thing is going to do a 180. And they were right. I mean, it's happened in D.C. now, where you have a number of members that just have no idea kind of where they are when it comes to Israel, which is wrong. It's just wrong.
Why were you expecting a 180? In other words, once Israel starts defending itself after getting attacked in an unprovoked attack on October 7th, it's supposed to just go away and not defend itself?
No, I'm 100% with Israel. They just said, get ready, because there'll be a misinformation campaign that'll be launched that'll start defending all of these actions by Palestine. It's in Hamas, which has been kind of driving the narrative right now, is made this very murky, and that's why I was shocked to see that there were as many Democrats that voted against the package as there were. And as far as the U.S. Senate goes, and Senator Schumer, hey, welcome to the big leagues. We passed this out of the House. It's in your lap. Now let's hear what you've got, because they understand what the temperament is in the House of Representatives. So there's not much wiggle room for anything that they may send back.
Yeah. I want to get your take on the investigations in the House right now. The GOP is pursuing an impeachment inquiry. Where does that stand?
Listen, I'm excited to know that after our new speaker was elected and put in place, Mike Johnson went right back to James Comer and to Jim Jordan and said, okay, let's move, and let's move quickly. That's a process that never stopped during the speaker's race. They have continued to gather bank records. It sounds like you're having Jason Smith on. I think some of the stuff that Ways and Means is doing, all of this is coming together. What we saw this week with Sarah and James Biden and the movement that ultimately ended up putting $40,000 in the president's account was kind of that's what a lot of members, I think some members that weren't necessarily watching this kind of on a day-by-day basis, that got a lot of people's attention. I mean, we're very close to not only, I think, having all of the items that many members would want to see, but I just talked to Comer last night, and, they're going to continue to push, and the speaker now is publicly saying, that we're on a path towards impeachment.
House Speaker Mike Johnson told reporters yesterday that the final decision on impeachment articles against the president is coming, quote, very soon. He told me on Sunday Morning Futures the House is now moving aggressively on this after the House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer revealed another check to Joe Biden. This one from sister-in-law Sarah Biden. This is from 2017. It's for $40,000, which would be 10% of the initial $400,000, which came from China. The committee says it's part of a money laundering scheme related to China, Congressman. Let's look at that graphic of how the money moved, because initially, first, there was a $5 million check, which went to a Hunter Biden company, and then a portion of that went to another Hunter Biden company, which then went to a James and Sarah Biden account. And then ultimately 10% of that $400,000 went to Joe Biden, $40,000. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Sarah Biden, who goes to the bank and says, listen, I need $50,000 to come out of this account, and then simply moves it over to the President of the United States? I mean, it's surreal that people don't understand that this was absolutely kind of an amateurish but very clear money laundering operation that the Bidens had set up. And who knows how long this has been going on, but what Congressman Comer has unearthed has discovered is even the financial institutions that look at these things have also agreed this is a money laundering operation, a scam, if you will. And that's what a lot of members have been looking for a long time now when it comes to President Biden and the Biden family operation.
Right. What are you going to do about it? I mean, is this eventually going to turn into an impeachment of Joe Biden? Where does this go?
Yeah, I think that is where it goes, and this is what both Kevin McCarthy and now Mike Johnson have said all along was, we want hard facts. We want black and white that actually demonstrates not only to the American people, but, ironically, I think the biggest opposition or the biggest roadblock to all this is the U.S. Senate, which we have to convince the Republican members, first of all, in the Senate that this is absolutely happening. And, my Senator Ron Johnson has been out front on this. Rick Scott has talked a lot about it. I mean, there are members over there that can absolutely deliver the message. We need to put the Senate in a bad position for them to just simply walk away from this. Mitch McConnell, Senator McConnell needs to come along on this front, too.
Yeah, I don't know where they are, frankly. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, Rick Scott did a great job the other day making it clear that the FBI recognizes that we are in a much more dangerous position under Joe Biden when, Christopher Wray had to spend 10 seconds there trying to come up with an answer. Immigration and Customs Enforcement revealed Border Patrol unknowingly released a terrorist suspect from Senegal into the United States. First, he was caught crossing into Arizona last month. Homeland Security said that he was wanted for terrorist activities on October 10th. And then he was finally arrested. Where was he arrested? In New York City on October 17th, Congressman. This could have been a major terrorist attack in the U.S. because he was allowed to come into the country through Arizona, released, and then finally arrested again in New York City. He made his way from Arizona to New York City in a couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, this is proof positive that what we have worried about, right, and known that it's been going on. But when you have a known terrorist from Senegal that makes his way across the southern border and then he eventually kind of connects, which is even the scarier part, with what we think is another terrorist cell that's in New York City. I mean, these are our worst fears that have now come true. And you've been to the border many times. I mean, with the number of people that continue to pour into the U.S. over the southern border, and I've been the San Diego sector, Eagle Pass, McAllen, it's kind of the same thing. They have no idea, and it's like 2-3 weeks later before they figure out what the profile of the individual who came across is. So, I'm not sure how we're supposed to respond to this.
Well, I mean, we both could have told the White House what was going to happen. We both witnessed it on the ground in Texas at the border. And we both witnessed that these illegals are coming to big cities like New York City in a 48-hour period. I don't know what they're doing to allow this to continue, Congressman. This is really dangerous, and we're all waiting to see if there's a terrorist attack on U.S. soil.
Yeah, I mean, H.R. 2 needs to be part of one of the negotiated bills that makes its way over to the Senate. We need to use every bit of leverage that the House of Representatives has to make sure that those items are in there. 90% of it that you actually take out of H.R. 2 could work to accomplish that.
Congressman, thank you. We'll be watching your work. Scott Fitzgerald joining us this morning.